All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And the video I'm bringing you today, as you guys know, I did a 1-bar collaboration PvP challenge with Sawman UK last weekend. It was a lot of fun. If you guys want to go check out those videos, I got the video on my channel. I can provide a link in the description. I'll also provide a link to Sawman's channel where he had the first part of it. Yeah, a lot of fun doing it. I had a lot of people ask me, hey, what were you running? What was the build? Is it viable next patch? And that's what this video is. So I'm gonna go through what I was running, go through the skills and abilities, and then now that we're on the PTS, we can actually see if it will be viable next patch, and you guys can make your own decisions. I don't do a ton of battlegrounds personally, and I don't run a ton of procs. I'm not one of those guys that says this is the best setup or anything. This setup was very effective, and I think it still is going to be effective. You guys can check and see for yourself. So with that being said, let's dive into it. First things first, as far as consumables go, I'm pretty sure I was running Azorgas, which is max health, magicka, and stamina recovery. I wanted, because you're running a 1-bar setup, wanted the ability to cloak a little bit more. Because we don't have to worry about that running a 2-bar setup, because we have 2 heals in our bar now. You can run Dubious, you can run Lava Foot and run Prismatics. I'd probably go all Prismatics and Lava Foot, but I have Dubious on here. Yeah, as far as the food goes, for my 1-bar setup, I was running the Major Expedition, Major Brutality, and Stamina potions. I wanted to be able to kind of have a lot more mobility. My survival really relied on Vigor and Cloak, and Vigor wasn't very powerful, and so it was mostly cloak and run. Also, I wanted to be able to run around and get kills as fast as possible because it was a PvP challenge to see who could get the most kills, and so I wanted to have Major Expedition on there. It allowed me to free up bar space in order to do that. Now the first set I'm running, Way of Fire. Way of Fire is a purchasable set. You can get it in Guild Traders. Weapon damage, stamina, weapon crit. When you deal damage with a weapon, you deal an additional 3803 flame damage. This effect can occur once every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, when we hit with our dual wield, we will proc Way of Fire. It is very, very effective. Now we are running 2 jewelry pieces, 1 body, and then the front bar mesas. These now scale in the new patch off our weapon and spell damage. Without Vigor or Rally buffed, you see we're at 3803. We're not going to look at the back bar set yet because we don't have to worry about that. Battle I currently have 2 heavy on here. I ran, it was a 4 medium, 3 heavy during the challenge. Next patch, I'd probably run 5 medium or 6 medium. Because you just want the higher weapon damage. You want the higher weapon damage so it can boost your procs a little bit more. Your survival's more around bouncing around, getting in, hitting with higher bursts, and then getting out. Not so much sturdiness. Like stage 3 Vampire was sturdy enough in my opinion, but that's up to you. If you guys want to be a little bit sturdier and do a little bit less damage, you can take off Balorg and you can put on a 1-piece per. You can change your Munda Stone. You can put on a 1-piece resistance set. Up to you. Heavy armor, Chest of Fire, and then Red Mountain. Red Mountain, weapon damage, max stamina, weapon crit. When you deal damage with a weapon, you spawn a volcano that erupts after 1 second, launching liquid hot lava at the closest enemy, dealing 12,381 flame damage. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. Scales off the higher of your weapon or spell damage. I had 13,000 during the challenge. Red Mountain's tooltip, I think, was 13,000 during the challenge. These both proc off of our weapon attacks, and so we get Way of Fire right there. You see the little fireball around his waist. That's Way of Fire, and then it just stacks with Red Mountain. You get both these hitting at the same time. Very, very powerful in coordination with each other. All infused weapon damage with Malakath. Now Malakath on the PTS is showing on the tooltip of the procs. It wasn't before, so yeah. It also is 16% instead of 25%, so we are getting a slight nerf there. But yeah, this is what I was running. It was very effective. As far as the skills go, Incap, Surprise Attack, Relentless Focus, Shadowy Disguise, Whirling Blades, and Resolving Vigor. Now, I am in CP right now. Some of my stats are quite a bit higher than they will be in no CP, so take it for what it's worth. But yeah, this is what I was running. My entire thoughts were, okay, if I have to run 1 bar, I want to make sure that I have some survivability. I want to make sure I have some speed so I can go around and kill people quickly. If I could only have 1, maybe 2 heals on my bar, how can I increase, like have the maximum amount of effectiveness? And in BGs, we all know spin to win is very effective. It does a ton of tooltip damage, plus it's a scaling execute, and so AoE executes are nice. I knew that Sawman was going to be on a Mag Sork, and we've all been in BGs with Mag Sorks where they just sit in the back and they spam Mage's Wrath and they're just popping kills. And so my concern was that if I ran other sets like Venomous Smite and Sheer Venom, like dot procs, he would just hit Mage's Wrath and get the kills. So I went for more burst-based procs in order to ensure kills, and when there was a pile of people, I'd go in there and spin to win and try and take as many as possible myself. So yeah, this was the build that I ran as far as a front bar setup goes. What would I do in a normal PvP build? Well, like I said, I would change the food. I would go to like Dubious, Lava Float, whatever you so choose, run all prismatics, and I would back bar the Vatishran's Perfected Greatsword, because this is, once again, A, it's another proc, B, it's a proc that works with your heavy attacks. So anytime you medium weave, when this is up, it's going to do damage. It transfers over to your front bar. So our medium weaves, we can have Way of Fire, Red Mountain, and the Vatishran's 2H go off. And it also gives you weapon damage when it's fully buffed. And so that also buffs our procs. It's a no-brainer in this sort of situation. And so if we buff up with Rally and we look at our character sheet, we're at 55-10 weapon damage. Now, this isn't the cap or anything, but yeah, it's not bad. If we look at our tooltip damage, Way of Fire is 4,500. Vatishran's is 10,600. So that's 15,000 right there. And sure, Rally's up. And Red Mountain is another 15,000. So we have 30,000 tooltip damage with this build in the next patch. And so if we get in combat, and so we can see, we want to see with the Vatishran procs, keep in mind we get another like 220-ish weapon damage. So we want to see what that is fully procced. So we're at 5 procs now. You see we jump up to 57 weapon damage. 15,290 plus 4697 plus 11,000. So over 30k tooltip damage. As you guys know, it transfers over to the front bar. So we just do that. It all lands at the same time. You get Way of Fire going off, but you get that. You get the Red Mountain going off, you get that. It's a lot of burst on top of the heavy attacks, on top of your enchants. You know the end cap's coming, you know the spec bow's coming. You can delete just about anybody with the setup. Now, this isn't a unique setup. I know there's people on PC that have been running it. I talked to a few guys. I was trying to figure out what to run, and I went into my Discord and I asked different questions, and one of the guys that does BGs said that Way of Fire and Red Mountain is one of the more devastating BG style setups, especially like on Stam Sorks using Crushing Weapon. It just deletes most health bars. You get the Vatishran proc with Crushing Weapon, Way of the Fire and Red Mountain all going off at the same time. Not many people are surviving that, and it looks to still be the case next patch. You guys see we're on the PTS, 30k tooltip damage. Like 30k is no joke. That will kill people. So yeah, this is what I would run. This is how I would adjust it. Just put the Vatishran's 2H in the back bar. I do think the sword is the best, and the reason the sword is best is because I would put Vigor and Rally on the back bar, and this gives you weapon damage, which boosts your healing. Yeah, a little bit more survivability. I would also run Shadow Image with Leeching, and I would personally run Reaper's Mark, but that's up to you. On the front bar, take off Vigor. And you can fit a couple different things here. If you want a gap closer, you want to run Ambush, you could do that. Ambush wouldn't be terrible. I'm not a huge fan of Ambush, but if you're going to be cloaking quite a bit, you do get Empower when you do this. And so Empower also boosts your damage of your light and heavy attacks by 40%. So you Lotus Fan in and you do your heavy attack combination. Way of Fire, Red Mountain. Like it could be a ton of damage. I would consider putting that there. That's up to you. There's probably a skill that I'm missing that I didn't really think about. But yeah, I think I would probably put a gap closer there because it'll allow you to finish stuff. Now, as far as overall effectiveness goes, guys, you know I don't do a ton of BGs. I'm not a BG expert or anything. This is just what I was running. If you guys think that it's effective, this gear is really easy to get. You can purchase Way of Fire and Red Mountain and Guild Traders. Malakath, you have to have the DLC for it. Vatishran's, you could do it on normal. Like, it's not hard gear to run across. Then you fit in a monster one piece and away you go. If you didn't want to do, like if you don't have Malakath, or if you don't have If you don't have mythics, I would just run 5-piece Way of Fire on the front bar, and then I would run 2 Balorg or a monster set of your choice. So if you don't have a mythic, that's what I would do. Balorg gives you more weapon damage and more pen, so when you hit your full combination, you'll have more pen, more damage. It would work out pretty well. You could also run Zahn there. Like Zahn honestly would be pretty nasty. I don't think I have Zahn on me at the moment, but yeah, this type of build, you do a full heavy attack. If Zahn goes off, whoever you're on top of is dead. Like, they're just not surviving. So yeah, that's the build. If you have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below. You guys can decide whether or not this is effective next patch. I would say yes, but yeah, I'll leave it to you and people that play Battlegrounds more. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.